This is video 105, and the title is The Last Walley Ball Game. Back in the 80s, racquetball and volleyball were pretty popular. Shadowbrook Resort, just outside of Tunkhannock, had a dual-purpose court in their sports center. My team got enthused about playing volleyball for a couple hours after third shift. It was a lot of fun, and there were usually about 12 to 14 participants. Actually, we got quite good at it. One morning after work, I beat it home to change clothes as I had gotten a bit grubby from working on something or other. I don't remember what at this point in time. I only lived a couple miles from the plant, so I rushed home and grabbed my sneakers, a t-shirt, and my sweatpants and beat it back to town to Shadowbrook. Everyone else was already dressed and on the court. I ran into the locker room and hurriedly ripped off my grubby clothes and threw them in my bag. I then quickly pulled on my sweats and t-shirt and sneaks and got out on the court. We had a really good game that morning. It was a lot of fun. Then came time to collect the equipment to turn back into the desk. Now keep in mind, my friend and practical joker, Jerry, was on our team. He caught me in inopportune times whenever he could. An example would be when I had to make a tape splice on the operator's side of the line. This was in the early days of tape application. We made all the tape splices by hand on the run. I would be standing with the beginning end of the new roll in one hand, and my other hand positioned to snag the tail of the expiring roll. I would then stick one to the other and wait for the splice to get to a certain spot in the web path, then hit the reject button, eliminating the splice. More than once, while concentrating on pulling that feed off smoothly, I would suddenly be aware of my pants dropping to my ankles. I got so used to it that I grew to ignore it and go ahead and make the splices, then pull up my pants. It never happened on day shift, thank goodness. A lot of us got caught with our Fruit of the Looms showing over the years. It was all in good fun and nobody got hurt. Today the whole world would be offended or triggered or something else equally stupid. Well, back to volleyball. The game was over and we had to take down the net. One of the girls on the team, named Beth, had the equipment bag and placed it on the floor just in front of me. She was on her knees, spreading the bag open. I had to stand on my tiptoes and stretch to unhook the top of the volleyball net from the eye bolt in the wall. Just as I stretched up to do that, I felt my sweatpants hit my ankles. Beth saw my sweatpants hit the floor. When my sweats hit the floor, Beth picked her head up and looked straight ahead. Then she looked straight up, and I was looking down. She then, in a flash, looked straight down into the equipment bag. I looked at Jerry, and his mouth was open, and his eyes were as big as I'd ever seen them. You see, I was in a hurry when I changed out of my grubby clothes. All I had on were my sweatpants. Nope, no Fruit of the Looms. Jerry was speechless, and Beth was trying to climb into the equipment bag 2 feet in front of me. It was then we heard it. You see, it was a little after 9 in the morning. That would be break time for the first shift at work. The front of the volleyball court was 2-story high glass with railing around the second floor. Apparently there was another team having an off-site meeting, and there were a dozen people observing us while leaning on the rail. I got a thunderous standing ovation, along with a lot of hooting and hollering. We never played volleyball again. And that concludes my little story about our last volleyball game. As always, I wish everyone all the best.